People used to only buy Hyundais, well, because they were cheap. However, that's not the case anymore, because they're actually a match now for their European rivals. And the i30 is arguably the best car in the range. For instance, it's quite a practical car. For starters, the rear doors open nice and wide, and because there's no intrusive wheel arch, it means that you'll find it dead easy to get into the back. And once you're here, as you can see, there's loads of room, acres of knee room, and there's plenty of space between my head and the roof. Also, if you like to carry large items, unlike in some of the Hyundai's rivals, you can flip out the seat bases, which means when you fold the seat backs down, if you look here, they go completely flat. And in the front, there's decent practicality too. Some decent size door bins, a large cubby here in the centre console, got a couple of cup holders there, and there's room for a large bottle in the glove box, which is linked to the air conditioning so you can keep your drink chilled. Also, the rest of the cabin seems very well built, and you get lots of standard equipment as well. For instance, we've got an MP3 stereo with a AUX in there, plus you can even hook up an iPod directly through the USB, or just play music straight off a pen drive. One of the great things about the i30 is that it's really easy to drive. I mean, you've got great visibility, and all the controls, the steering, the clutch, and the gear shift, they're all nice and light. But probably the best bit are the brakes, because they're just super sharp. And all this added together means that it's a really good car for round town. The Hyundai also impresses out on the open road. I mean, it's a very comfortable car because the suspension deals very well with bumps and potholes. It also handles very securely. There's lots of grip in corners, and it doesn't really roll about at all. That said, it's not as much fun on the twisty bits as, say, a Ford Focus. And that brings me on to the car's other downsides. Another one is the fact that, well, it's not as quiet as a VW Golf. You do get quite a bit of noise from the tyres. And I have to say, the interior, it's a little bit bland and unexciting, and certainly doesn't feel as upmarket as that in a Vauxhall Astra. As for the exterior, well, the i30 won't turn heads quite like a Mazda 3 will, and while its boot isn't exactly small, it's not as big as that in a Honda Civic. But you might be willing to overlook these shortcomings on account of the fact that the i30 is actually a good all-round car. I mean, it's cheap to buy, it's cheap to run, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Also, it seems the people who buy these things really love them, because it's just come top in a customer satisfaction survey of more than 23,000 drivers.